Hey everyone, today I have a quick PC building tutorial for you. We're going to be showing you how to install your motherboard in your case. We're going to be doing this with a Gigabyte X570 Aorus Elite Wi-Fi gaming motherboard. We're going to be installing it in this Thermaltake V250 case. It should be pretty easy to do. We're not going to get into wiring or anything like that today. We're just going to show you how to properly install the motherboard in the case. But hey, if you're new here, my name is Ken. This is Northern Viking Every Day. And we bring you videos on reviews and how-tos, so please consider subscribing so you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. Let's go ahead and dive right into installing this motherboard. So a couple of quick things I do want to mention. All of these PC components I did pick up from the store. I will put links below in the description if you do want to grab them for yourself or find more information. The other thing is make sure that your motherboard is fully set up before you install it in the case. So I've got my CPU installed, I've got my cooler installed, I've got my RAM, I have an M.2 NVMe drive installed. So make sure it is fully assembled before you install it in your case. Let's dive into how to do that. So first off, let's remove the tempered glass side panel on the side of the case. There's 4 thumb screws. If they are a little tight, you can loosen them off with a Phillips head screwdriver and then just take them out. Once you've got all 4 screws out, you can gently lift off the glass side panel and put it aside. To put it back on, just do the same thing in reverse. Let's have a quick look at where the motherboard sits. You can see the little metal standoffs. They are threaded, and you'll put screws through the motherboard into those standoffs. Now the I/O shield, this portion of the motherboard where all the connectors are, actually goes into the rectangular area right under the fan there. Now my motherboard is an ATX motherboard. There's several different sizes. There's ITX, micro ATX, ATX, as well as extended ATX. We want to make sure we're using the correct standoffs. And if you pause it here, you can see which holes you should be putting the standoffs into. So for myself, it's holes 1, 2, and 3. These are the standoffs we're going to add. We need to add 3 of them to the number 3 holes. So there's one in the top right-hand corner, there's one in the middle off to the side, and there's one down here at the bottom. Holes 1 and 2 already had standoffs from the factory. We just need to add them to the holes marked as number 3. If you want to double check with your motherboard, just make sure the screw holes line up with all the standoffs. If there's any extras that don't line up with the screw holes, make sure to remove those. And you can pause it on the screen if you want to take a closer look at where the screw locations are on the motherboard. So go ahead and screw in the standoffs, one at the top, one in the middle, and another at the bottom. If they're a little tight to get in, you might need to use a wrench or some pliers to screw them in. Just be very careful that you don't damage the standoffs or the threads. Now that the standoffs are in place, we need to talk about the I/O shield. Mine is permanently attached to my motherboard or integrated. You might have a loose I/O shield. It's the plate there that covers all the connectors. If yours is loose, you will need to pop it in the rectangular opening there underneath the fan. So pop it into place before you install your motherboard. So go ahead and grab your motherboard by the edge and slowly and carefully lower it into place. Again, if you have a separate I/O shield, make sure it lines up properly. You might need to move it around slightly so that the I/O shield lines up with the back of your PC case. And you might need to give it a nudge here and there to make sure the screw holes line up properly with the standoffs. This is very important. You want to make sure your screws are going in straight. You can see what they should look like. There's a couple of them lined up right there. Next, go ahead and grab your motherboard screws. These came with the PC case, so the smallest one in the bag of screws that I got. And I like to start screwing in the motherboard from the corners, just make sure everything's lined up, but I don't tighten them down very hard. I just like to get them to thread a little bit. Then I'll go to the opposite corner, give that a few turns, and the third corner, and then the fourth corner. Then I start to move to the middle and go around the perimeter. Again, not tightening them down too hard, just get them to thread into place, making sure that the motherboard is all lined up. Once all the screws are in, go ahead and tighten them up one by one, and you are done. And it's really that simple to install a motherboard in a PC case. So I hope this video was able to help you out in installing your motherboard in your PC case. If it did, make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Also remember to connect with me on social media. You'll find all those links below in the description. Thank you so much for watching today, and until next time, take care.